Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations with Sarah. Today's date is Thursday, April 23rd, 2020, and welcome to our show. You can find us on Conversations with Sarah on Facebook and sarahoxidine.com. Today we have with us Gurdan
Hello.
and Alua,
Hello.
and
And her internet froze and just stayed there for a minute.
social spheres at the moment.
Oh, now you're back.
Oh,
You were gone for that whole sentence.
okay. So Oliver was just explaining to us how he's feeling with all of the emotional internet, television, and social spheres that we have at the moment. Oliver, would you like to explain again?
So, I've I'm a huge advocate for channeling. I channel myself sometimes. I'm getting more and more into it, and I just always see these aspects of me that still get triggered by circumstances. And I'm a big proponent of circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters. And it's just surprising that even after all these years of knowing that, I almost see myself enjoying still playing those triggered aspects. So it was just really, for me now, a period of time to just get this down, that I don't allow those aspects of me to overpower or have more moments than the aspects of me which are loving and self-empowering and understanding and very focused and in alignment with my excitement and goals.
Yes. And it's a little bit the way you explained it just now doesn't really give the specifics like you did before about what was really happening with you. So if you like to go into specifics, so because your experience will help others to understand theirs, and it will also be a teaching lesson for us all.
Specifics, I would say the coronavirus. There's a lot of stuff going around, a lot of conspiracies going around, and I see myself sometimes jumping on the conspiracy bandwagon, anti-vax, coronavirus, fake numbers, and there's a lot of truth behind it. But then I'm thinking, am I just adding more and more to that energy of doubt and disbelief of what the good things that are coming? Or am I just becoming more aware of the negativity that's unfolding as we all become more aware of broader aspects? So more negativity and more positivity. And it's not that I will experience that, it's more that I'll be more aware of it.
Yes. So what's happening right now is that all sides of the coin, meaning the positive and the negative, the ins and the outs, the ups and the downs, the things that were swept under the rug, all of those things are beginning to see the light of day. And it's hard when we have to understand that all of us have played a role in the manifestation of our reality. Yes. And we have to face them. So everything that was being hidden before are now bubbling up to the surface. And we're all looking around us saying, where did all of this come from? Where did all of this gunk and sludge and vibration of misunderstanding and craziness. And where all these conspiracy theories come from, or conspiracy, not even conspiracy, because conspiracy meaning and conspiracy theory meaning, something that's not real. And usually something we speak about, something that is noticed by the human collective, is all real in every sense. And people are now starting to react to what they're perceiving to be part of their reality, that in some instances they don't believe that they were a part of its creation. And so we're all learning how to deal with that and to understand it for ourselves first, be able to rise above the negativity and transmute that information so that we can remain the healers that we are. And so it's very important at this time to become the observer, not the reactor, to breathe through the things that we are observing, because some of it is quite harmful to our emotions and to our spirit. And if we allow it to take us down with all of its negativity, we're not servicing ourselves, nor can we help others in rising above it. So we have our jobs cut out for us, basically, as healers and light workers and light bearers, to show everyone, hey, yes, this may be occurring in your reality, but it is now time to perceive it, speak up, remain calm. And if there is something that you can do, do it. And if there's something that you cannot do physically, know that you're still part of the solution. And so just contain that awareness, contain your methods of observation, and meditate into some of those energies that are coming up within you emotionally. And when I say contain, I mean, don't see it as affecting you personally. Don't take it all in. Contain it somewhat, kind of like standing outside of yourself, instead of allowing that to frustrate you or becoming part of the bombardment that is coming into your system, because it doesn't really serve you to allow that energy into your system. You understand that, yes, it's part of you, but it doesn't really serve to allow it to affect you in a negative manner.
Yes, thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I was asking for your response, either yours or Dan's.
Oh, sorry, you broke off there
Yes,
quickly.
I
We saw
did.
you. Yeah, I believe I just I don't want to say have to, but it's a good word to use. I believe I have to really invest and commit to being my higher self embodied in the here and now.
Yes.
And a good quote I had, what I read online, is if you fill your time up with low priorities, sorry, if you don't fill your time up with high priorities, it will naturally fill up with low priorities. And so if I don't fill up my time with prioritizing being my higher self, of course I'll naturally fill that time up with being my lower self or distracted self or disconnected self.
Yes. That's why the meditation is important, and discovering what makes you happy every day, whether it's one thing or many things. That's what really important. It's really important to do those things right now to keep your energy level up, to walk outside when you can, to take in the sun and the fresh air. And it's no better time to take in the sun and the fresh air because now our atmosphere is clearing up. So that's a good thing. But you have to make yourself important and not the outside world's idea of reality. Make your reality important to you. And that's how you're going to get through all of the things that are being bombarded, all of the information and disinformation and negativity. Not to be bombarded by that. Turn the TV off. Even turn the radio off. I was shocked the other day when I turned on the radio and the radio station said, "This is your COVID virus radio station." And I'm thinking to myself, why? Why would you name yourself that? Why would you propagate that? You know, it's just one of those things that, in my book, personally, that is just not necessary to do, or to blare the name everywhere, so that people can constantly be reminded that the COVID virus is around. So it's on the television networks. COVID virus pandemic, in big, big letters. So it's one of those things that you have to just kind of breathe yourself through it every time it comes your way. Dan, are you there?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say to this?
No, I'm letting you have at it.
I'd like to have your input.
What about people's journeys unfolding
Yes.
and what you can do about their journey? Very
No,
little.
what they can do about their journey.
What they can do about their journey? Quite a bit. But they have to choose to do something about their journey. It's the ones that don't do anything about their journey and then say they wish they had done something about their journey. Those are the ones.
Dan.
Those are some of the ones that we meet, right? And yeah, well, there's people on their journey who are open to guidance from all kinds of places, and there are people who are on their journey that don't want any guidance from anything, and I'm surprised they're breathing. But says God favors those, so I guess even
Yeah, they
their
say God help
existence is
those
an
who help
okay
themselves.
existence to have. They're going through whatever their agreements have them going through, and if that's the way they want to be, then that's the way they want to be. So if that's their highest joy, then more power to them. And if it's not their highest joy, then help yourself. So, ooh, that went a bit harsh suddenly, didn't it? Oh yeah,
Well,
everything's great. This is one of those things that it actually really is a good topic because yeah, how do I say that and not sound like I'm tooting? But I've been at this a while. Even though my life has been challenging, I call it challenging because have some of the challenges been pretty rough? Yeah. Have I survived them all? Yeah. Have I remembered? Yeah. And that's been the blessing portion of it is I remember a lot of my journey and how I went through it. And so, and then it's been a multi-stage awakening. So I've awakened on several different times even. So it's just like, oh, where I am now, it's this really neat perspective. So I've been free. My life has been such a way that I have been free to observe these things and learn this stuff, while people who have maintained their distraction with 3D reality, they've been able to keep their families, they've been able to keep their health, they've been able to keep their jobs, they've been able to keep their whatever they think their life is. Where I've been free to awaken and then make myself available for those that want this information. So that's been pretty neat, actually. Now there are some people who say, "Oh, we don't believe you're awakened." Well, you're free to believe that. That's part of your journey. Good luck. And there's those that say, "Oh, you've awakened so well. How do you remember all that stuff?" Man, I don't know how to remember all this stuff. Just have. But it's not so important that I remember it. What's more important to me is if I can say something, a help, a guidance, or something that actually helps get them over their hump, whatever their hump is, whatever their speed bump or hump or whatever their thing. You don't always have to be in a crisis to want to amplify your wellness. Even that idea. You don't have to be in crisis to want to expand your perspective. You don't have to be in crisis to want to connect more deeply with yourself. You don't have to be. The crisis is the option, and to get so far along that go, oh, I think I'm having a crisis. And now I'm going, oh, I think I'm having a crisis. Oh, well, what's this for? What's this going to do? What's this going to open me up to? What's this going to clear out? Right? So now even a crisis isn't even a crisis anymore. Even now the definition of crisis means something completely different. But most people, they're not to that. So does that still mean that I'm not prone to excitement? I'm still pretty prone to excitement, but I enjoy my excitement. That's part of my journey. Some people, oh, Dan, you're one of those people, you're excitable. Yeah, so welcome to my journey. You don't get to correct it. So there's a lot of stuff going on. My gosh, it's a strange topic. And when everybody is free to be whatever, right?
You can use this time for self-discovery.
It is a great time for that right now. Everybody's had a lot of distractions taken away from them, like the fuel lines at the gas station and the grocery store. And now, things have simplified a little bit, even though it's weird. And yeah, and I've been saying that for weeks, that this has been a really great time for interconnection
Yeah.
and for people
Because,
to get in touch with more of them so that they can be in touch with more of us who have been in touch for a while,
yes.
and find out that we're not, these crackpots they might think we are. We're really full of all kinds of spiritual wisdom on many different levels. And just because you don't get it doesn't mean it's not true. Well, that takes me back to that other story. That was a good story, though. Somebody said, oh, we think you're crazy, but you don't sound like you're crazy. You don't hesitate. It just rolls. And I said, oh, that's the difference between thinking and knowing. When you step into your spiritual knowing, when you step into your knowing, it does flow. It's not insanity. Oh, this is all so cool. This
Yes.
is the really, if you can, if my advice for the planet at large, if you can do anything in your power to spiritually awaken, if you can spiritually awaken no matter what your situation is, if you can spiritually awaken in that so that others can gain the wisdom from that, that would be the most number one epic thing that you can do. People go, oh, what's my life purpose? I don't know. You don't need to sell yo-yos. You don't need to do things. You don't need to just really go spiritually awaken as much as you can. That would be the goal. So everybody says, oh, someone say, oh, you need to go find God. When you go to find God and you find out you're the God, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. I've been co-creating my own reality since birth. Wow, how do we do that? Oh, let's go figure that one out. Yeah. Yeah. And then you find out about frequency, and you find out about permissions, you find out about agreements, you find out about soul contracts, you find out about all these, journeys.
Yeah.
and you can shift them around and you can do things with them. And your soul isn't just a paperweight that you carry around. You can actually do stuff with it. And having a relationship with your soul, man, that's a pretty satisfying. That, if not the most satisfying thing you can ever
Truly
do,
is.
if that's not the most satisfying thing that you can do on this rock, right, that we call a planet, that would be the thing to do. And if you could do that with some kind of grace, would be even better, right? Now, some people, they do it really quite well. Some people can be downright ugly with their journey, but some people, man, they're just so graceful. Just the beauty of it, it's just so neat. And you know when you run into them, because they're just neat to be around sometimes. Even if they're not talking, you just sit next to them and go, wow, you feel good. I'm just going to sit here for a while. I'm just going to hang out. I'm just going to soak up whatever frequencies are available here, and then you go on your way. And it doesn't matter if you do that over the course of a dinner or a conversation, or if it goes on for the length of a friendship, however long that variable thing can be, because some people's friendships are only a couple minutes and some are lifetimes. So yeah, so a pretty dynamic idea on that. So yeah, yeah, all this stuff. What do I think about it? I think all this about it, you know? So it
You
is,
know, a lot of us, can you hear me?
yeah, yeah.
A lot of us awakened in turmoil. Like, I know when I had my awakening, I was in deep depression about my reality. And that depression about the reality uh, allowed me to make a choice for myself. I can either accept my outside world and how it is, even though I could not relate to it in any way, fashion, or form. It was just like, how did this become my reality, right? Or go into my inner world and discover who I am from the inside out instead of the outside in.
That's a big process too.
Yes.
When you go through the process, now for me, because I was a little bit older, going through the process of really, and it's been a heck of a process of taking things out of my programming that were put in there by others, in and opting for my own programming instead, going with my own knowledge instead, not going
Yeah.
by what anybody said or told me, but what I knew or thought.
Yes.
And so that was a big turning point for me. When was that? That was in the early 2000s when that process started for me, because before that I was going by the reality that was dictated to me by parents, by belief systems that were instilled in me from childhood, all kinds of thoughts and beliefs that were given to me by others, that things that I thought I had adopted, belief systems that I thought I had adopted. And then it was really strange how that it was really unique how the universe decided to offer me a challenge to that entire belief system. And how it did it was it offered me something that I thought I wanted. It offered me something that I thought I wanted, but the thing that I wanted turned out to be so complicated that in order for me to accept it, I had to let go of the other. I had to let go of the old belief systems in favor of the new belief systems. And that's where I learned, what Dr. Wayne Dyer had when I learned about Dr. Wayne Dyer later, is that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right?
Right.
And then there was another similar to that too, that Until you want to change more than you want to stay the same, only then will you change.
Yes.
But I didn't learn those sayings and those phrases until after I lived it and learned it. So the universe offered me a person, and this person was really far away, and they had uh, a unique orientation, I'll say. But I really liked the person. But my pre-programmed beliefs were telling me, oh, I should dislike this person because they're different, and they weren't very different, but they were different enough to challenge my beliefs. And I said, you know what? Screw you, beliefs. I really like this person. And that's when I got to, wow, I wonder how many other, but so where did I even get that belief from? And the belief was instilled by adopted belief systems from parents and other people and society and neighborhoods and towns. Even you'll find that one town will believe one thing about a thing, and you go to the next town and they believe a completely different thing about the same thing, and go, oh, well, how come you guys think it this way? Well, because our experience has been this. And then you go to the other town, why do you think it that way? Oh, because our experience has been this. And you find out that the reason they experience differently is because they're in different places. And so go, oh, so perspective is just exactly like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not that the beliefs are wrong, and it's not that the beliefs are in conflict so much. It's just that the beliefs have to have a dynamic because they're being perceived from two different places. The experiences of those things are just slightly different. And that's when you can learn a great deal. That's I learned a great deal about perspective right there. Is that that's why I say, well, there is no wrong then. There is no wrong. There's only perspective.
Yeah.
Say, well, the way we see it, this is all wrong. Well, yeah, but now look at it from that perspective over there, or that perspective over there. Is it wrong still? Oh, well, then it's not wrong from that perspective, because from that perspective, everything is okay. So, all right, so what's the distance between okay and not okay? And you find out it's just the distance of perspective. So it's almost for a person who perceives, which is what we do. We're just huge perceivers. It, one perspective to another perspective isn't a leap at all. It's just it's just right there. Oh, look at that perspective. Oh, look at that perspective. Oh, look, they're doing that over there, but look over there, they're doing that over there, and
Well,
they
that's
both
why.
they're both saying they're doing good, and they're both saying they're doing the right thing, and from their perspective, they are. But it's need to be in a higher, more awakened, let's say, elevated perspective where you go, oh, both of those perspectives are allowed. But then also my perspective of viewing those perspectives are allowed too. So then you find out, oh, everything is allowed. Oh, everything is allowed. Well, where is everything allowed? Well, everything is allowed in creation. And I say that too. Everything is allowed in creation. Who are you to tell creation what it can be or not be? How are you? Who are you to think that you can tell creation anything? Because there's a piece of energy over there trying to experience yourself, and who is it to say if it's right or if it's wrong? It's just trying to experience itself. Is it trying to experience itself wrongly? No, there is no wrong. It's just trying to experience itself. But you, as let's say a poorly trained observer, go over to it and say, oh, you're this and you're that and you shouldn't be here and blah 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 blah. So, well, that's an interesting perspective. Too bad it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything from my perspective. So, it's interesting. We live in this place that is so full of so many different things, and it's all allowed. And if you can get that perspective, if you can get to there, that beautiful neutrality of everything's allowed. So people say, "Oh, what do you think about all this bad stuff?" It might not be bad stuff, you know. Right before you arrived, Alua was asking me what I thought about the stuff in the world. I said, the planet's been healthier now than it's been in like 100 something years, right?
Yeah.
I think that all that healing that we've been sending to the planet, I think it finally worked. I think we're here, so I think everything that's going on is a great thing. And everybody's going, no, it's bad, it's terrible, people are dying. So, well, yeah, the ones that are dying, they're free to die because there is no wrong, right? Like I just said, there's no wrong. The beings that want to use this experience to reincarnate or incarnate out or incarnate into something different or incarnate into a new experience, All those variables are available, just but they've always been available. You know, you don't have to. I mean, you can have it. Some things come to this planet just to give people an option, and that's a pretty advanced topic. And I know we've talked about that before, but I'm not going to go into that right now because let's just kind of keep it in the, the this level of understanding. So in this level of understanding, there is a balance going on if anybody understands it or not. you know the planet has screamed so loud that it's needed a slowdown. We have unconsciously agreed to give the planet this slowdown, and if that unconscious agreement was a virus that makes everybody stop and take pause for a little bit. And yesterday was Earth Day, which was so amazing, and we're
Yeah.
kind of still in the energies of the Earth Day. We got a new moon, we got a new Earth, we got all of this stuff. And is there anything really that much out of balance? No, not really. Everything is still pretty balanced. So the Earth is getting what it wants. People are getting what they want. They wanted breaks, they wanted time off, they wanted everything. They're getting it. You know, this huge co-creation that we've all agreed to, even though it's been unconscious. So there are those of us that are having an okay time right now. We're not, riddled with tension or guilt or worry, or well,
Or
some
fear.
worry. But it's is it an interesting experience? Yeah. And am I proud to be with it with everybody else? Yeah. You know, why not? You know, is there worse things we could have done? Yeah, but we're doing this. This is pretty calm. This is pretty calm. It's not like violent. Well, I don't know. There are places that are trying to use
Not
this as an excuse
yet.
for violence, but I'm not one of those, so I'm not subscribing to that. That doesn't mean I
Yeah.
don't see it. I have a perception. Oh yeah, I can see where some people would want to use this as a permission slip for violence. I'm not. Thank you for doing that for me, but I'm not gonna. I don't subscribe to that. Um, and I just don't. I'm just too lazy to be violent. I just don't. I just don't care. You know. Hey, you want to be safe? Be safe. You don't want to be safe? Then don't be safe. But I'm going to reserve the right. If I choose to protect myself from an unsafeness that I perceive, then I'm going to do it. I need to be allowed to do that. So here again, it's all allowed in creation. Just because I go to the store doesn't mean I'm going to go into the store. I mean, if it looks unsafe to me, I might not even go in. My here, it's a prerogative thing. It's your, so, oh, what's my highest enjoyment? Well, my highest excitement was I wanted to go to the store. But now my highest excitement, but my higher excitement is I want to stay safe. And if there's a bunch of unsafeness, if I perceive unsafe, then I might not go into the store. So I'll just pick a new higher enjoyment, right? Find a higher excitement. Oh, well, then maybe my excitement would be go to a different store, right? And just, change my plans. I mean, we're pretty pliable. We can change our plans on the fly. We're pretty
True.
dynamic that way. I mean, well, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're going to dinner. What are you going to have? Food. What kind? The kind that you get from a place that has food. And just like we make those decisions on the fly. And say, oh, this looks like a good place. Oh yeah, we heard. Yeah, well, let's go there. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll go there. So when that all opens up again, that'll be really nice. So here again, and then what? But just other weird thoughts. I think when this thing clears up, when everything is finally healed enough where it's no longer propagating, when we finally get this all under control, I think we're going to have the biggest flipping birthday ever.
Yes.
you know, because look at everybody that just wants to celebrate their birthday, and look at all the people. Now we're going to be able to celebrate this huge birthday, and my birthday's coming up in a couple of weeks, and I know I'm still going to be kind of under stay home order pretty much. So it just look at all this huge birthday we're going to have now. So I don't know if I were connected to all the powers that be, some man, I would send out a message to all, like, the chocolate cake collective, right? And the ice cream collective and the other goodies and presents collective, and start, man, sending them some really good energy so that we can have the biggest, best birthday bash ever on planet Earth, right? So, like,
Yeah.
wouldn't How's that going to be a bad thing? I just,
I love the way how we started off the topic and just pointing out the energies of the atmosphere, the tensions, and then all of a sudden we can see how we can choose our reality. And it's entirely different. It's an entire whole, like,
but that's a
better.
decision. That's a conscious
I
decision.
love it.
That's a conscious decision even that I've made to focus on a more
It is.
positive than to focus on the negative. And you know why I'm choosing to focus on a more positive? Because there's already enough people I feel focusing on the negative. They don't need my negative input as
Yeah,
well.
they don't need your
I'll
help.
just let them do all that negative for me. And I'm just going to go over here. I would much rather be guilty of amplifying the biggest birthday bash ever and giving that some energy than giving energy to what everybody else is giving energy to, because it's kind of like, well, it's been done before, you
Yeah,
know. As an
and
awakened being, we're not always going to focus on it, and it's been done before. And then it just, how many times can you do it? I mean, the news is trying to amplify that every day, and that's like, I'm tired of seeing that. Show
exactly.
me. I'd rather see, you know, I found this meme site online, and it's just like, there's so many. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of odd, really cool, and odd, strange, and sometimes negative perspectives on there. But there's some cool stuff too. It's like the zoos that have been closed, right? The zoos, sorry, that have been closed, and the animals, the zookeepers are now taking animals for walks to show them like other animals in the zoo. And it's just the greatest thing. It's
Or the
just
animals are taking
seeing the other
themselves
animals see
to
each
what
other and how they
is.
like, what are you? You know, and it's just like, what?
I saw
You're my,
a
you've
video
been my neighbor and I didn't even know it.
the pelicans were walking through this aquarium area, like all together. Let's go and see these animals over here. And
It's just
they
been
were
so
in this
crazy.
aquarium area in space where there was like waters and ocean beings all the way around them, and they were all huddled together, walking together, and just looking around. And
Yeah,
I thought that was the most amazing thing because you
yeah,
never
it's neat. I saw
see
one, they took a penguin to a seal and dolphin tank. And it's like they're looking like, oh man, I've never seen a penguin before. It's like, wow, what are you? Oh, hi. You can just imagine what their telepathic conversation is like.
I
Hi,
know.
how are you? What are you? What's going on? All that stuff. So
Aloha.
yeah, I'd rather focus on that kind of cool stuff instead
Yeah.
of the other stuff that's already been done. Hey, Holly's here. Holly made it.
Yeah.
Hi, finally. I had some stuff I had to do first, but I made it for a little while. How is everybody?
All right, we're
Very
doing
good. Just
okay
all
here.
the amazing things that are happening right now, even though our whole planet's going through this coronavirus idea, all the other amazing things that are happening at the same time. The waters are becoming clearer, the animals are starting to walk out and look into the cities or look into their own areas. They may be in a zoo or in an aquarium and they're starting to look around and say, hey, what's going on out here? Or like delving more into your inner self and that reality instead of participating in the outside reality of things. Oh, there you go. And you got a nice grassy background with you.
I'm
So
good and grounded.
you're very grounded. I love it. So yeah, it's very important at this time that we look within and we participate with our inner world and our inner discovery of ourselves instead of looking at all of the noise at the moment, right? The
Oh,
boogeyman
absolutely.
outside. It's just noise, and you can choose your frequency that you wish to gravitate to, truly. And I choose happiness. I choose life itself. I choose to look at nature. I choose to look within myself. I mean, sometimes I can literally spend all day speaking to my higher self or listening to the wind and conversing with it, or uh, feeling the water and how I'm part of it, or connecting to my inner like physicality and becoming part of that, and actually healing and seeing water flow through my cells. Or I can have a full day of my inner self, and it makes me so happy. And I don't even pay attention to all of the noise in the outside world, because that's not what's important to me right now. What's important is my mental, spiritual, and emotional health. Yes, Holly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, it can become so much more fun. It's so much fun, and you learn so much about yourself when you go inside. And we have this huge opportunity to go inside right now. So, Holly, have you experienced the inner world of you? The
You could just feel it, couldn't you?
inner world of
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is going to be really, really freaky. I still don't know if I've grasped it. But yesterday afternoon, I had one of those forced naps again.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured, okay, maybe because it was just, like made my nauseated, and it just felt really different and heavy. So I went right up. Actually, I didn't even make it upstairs. I just went right to the couch. And I was like, okay, if this is a download, let it be for my highest good. And if I need to go somewhere and heal something, well, let it be, as long as it's good, needed. Well, right away, I shoot out of my body, and I kind of go up some, like I can feel the directions. So I go up some, and then I shoot right to the left, and then down. I was like, okay. So when I finally stop, it's like I'm in this void. Like I can't see a thing. Yet I know who I'm standing in front of somebody. I know who it is, and then I feel another presence off in the distance. So just to clarify, I said, evidently there's a reason I'm here, and who am I standing in front of? And lo and behold, it's Lilith.
Don't you just love her?
Well, this is like my first connection, really, in this lifetime.
Yeah.
So I said, well, hello, Lilith, and there must be a reason why I'm here. I know I intended for healing to occur, and I was brought here. I said, I don't know in this lifetime of any connection, but perhaps you can tell me if we have a connection and what is it that needs healing. And she was quiet for a minute. Now keep in mind, I can't see her. And she said, we first had our connection in the Garden of Eden. She said, you're Adam, and you hurt me. You disrespected me. You demeaned me. I was kind of speechless. So I was like, she said, pretty much every incarnation past that existence, I've cursed you, hexed you, taken things from you, harmed you, every way I could envision. So I just said, let me try to fix that. And I just called down the golden white energy, divine source energy. And I asked for her hand, and I put it on my heart, and I put my left hand on her heart, and I just really strongly flowed that healing divine energy through me into her heart and back out again. And I said, for whatever I've done, I don't know in this lifetime, this knowledge of this body, but for all that I've done, I ask your forgiveness humbly, sincerely, and that nothing like that will ever happen again. And I took both her hands and I just lifted my head, and I intended this call to spread throughout the whole galaxy of my proclamation of healing, of lifting her up, in honoring her divine feminine, for who she is, for who her soul is, for all the hurt. I lifted her up and stated to anybody and everybody how sorry I was for everything. And then I said, when that was over, I said, let us agree that from this point on, if there's any ill feelings that come up that are new, let it be known for all to hear that if ill intent is sent from either of us to the other, the retribution will be tenfold. That will be good incentive for nothing bad to ever happen again on either of our accounts. And keep in mind, I did not ask for anything in return. And then I left. And then I slept the whole rest of the afternoon trying to recoup from it. The next afternoon, yesterday, I had that same like, oh boy, something's coming. And I laid down right away, and it was her. She had snuck away, and she said, I've come to give back to you all that I've taken from you and harmed. She said, you've healed a part of me that I have hurt since my existence. She said, my heart is whole now. And she just flooded me with all that she she undid the curses and the hexes and the, you know, whatever she'd taken from my spirit and soul and whatever, and she fixed it. And I thanked her and honored her by acknowledging her for who she is and what she is, and that she's just as relevant, important, and special as any of us are. So that's my story.
Yay. That's a good story.
Yeah. I I even sought my soul, my pendulum, my higher self. Like, did that really happen?
Yeah.
Really, did that happen?
That's an important story, because in that you learn that you got to heal all of that here. So everything here
Yes.
and all of your aspects that are connected to this you got to clear out all of that stuff from
Yeah.
here.
And I really feel that it was really relevant that I was a female in this existence to do that. From one divine feminine to
Right.
another.
You might not have felt so otherwise. You might, it depends on, you know,
As
your journey
even
and your
though
agreement on that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow. That is so good.
I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm so glad I got that out there.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So this is a really
That
good.
was a biggie. That
yeah.
was like millennia of
So
hurt
this
and
is-
harm.
Come closer, Sarah. You're not.
while you're telling me this story, I'm having a conniption over here.
You share.
Did it loosen something for you, Sarah?
It did, because one of the beings that came to me in my earlier awakening was Lilith. And I was
Oh.
her.
Oh. Well, I hope this just reinforces the
correct.
healing and love.
I felt the cursing and the pain she went through because Adam had left.
His narrow-mindedness, his inability
He just
to.
left her and didn't return.
I didn't know that.
I
I
had a
kind of sensed it.
meditation about that. Like, it was just, he left her for hundreds of years when he
Wow.
expected to be back and did not return.
Wow. I am so sorry, Lilith. I just didn't know. Understand. I didn't understand. I know she's there with you, so I'm speaking to her through you and your connection. My heartfelt, sincere apology.
And she had
Forever.
never did that before. This is crazy. I'm crying about a bee from God knows when.
Well, that's usually how it happened. Clear it out. Just clear the energies out. So this is why this is such a good story. Yeah, just clear the energies out while you're here. So this has come up, and everybody's saying, wow, that girl, she's crying. She must be loopy. No, just work those energies out and work them out here. Forgive them here. Come to terms with them here. You don't, people, the reason why I'm on about this is so many people are trying to do this past life regression stuff. And to me, it's such a huge waste of time, because you don't need to go anywhere to do the healing. You do the healing here. And this is what it looks like. So Sarah's got this energy now. So your story, Holly, such an awesome story. And now it's triggered a block of energy that Sarah was holding on to. And now Sarah's got this, all this energy has come up. And now she can approach it and deal with it and clear it here where it needs to be. So like she
Yes.
just said, holding on to all this stuff for a millennium. You too, Holly, same thing. All this stuff that's been going on, this energy, we don't even know it until it comes up. And when it comes up, you're not crazy, you're not, but it needs to be addressed. To
Yes.
fail to address it would be the crime.
Oh, catastrophic.
It would, man, that's the kind of stuff that causes a person real damage. If they don't come to
Oh,
terms with the energies that come up when they come up, because we sometimes don't know that these energy pockets are like even there
no.
until we get into a vibration or frequency where we can deal with them. And so as you ascend, so here's a great ascension lesson. Just because you're ascending doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. And you might be working out energies from who knows what and who knows when. But it's very important that you work them out here. Work them out here. So Holly, you were able to work yours out here. That triggered an energy block that Sarah didn't even know she had until just now. And now she gets to work it out here. That's what healing looks like. That's how it works. So it's great when everybody talks. And now Sarah's being distracted by her mom, I guess. You muted Sarah, so she's wondering why you're crying. She thinks somebody upset you, but no, you're just working through energies, right? So it's all right.
Well, Sarah, when you're ready, I would like to, do a energy connection just to send love to all those aspects that need healing. Just to send pure love energy between our souls and channeling to whoever on both our ends. As I understand, there were numerous reincarnations of Adam and Lilith, and each time she attempted to be with him, to love him, to be a part of his life, and it never worked out. Never.
No.
So there's a lot of bit more to go. So if you're willing, can we take just a few minutes to send love to Adam and Lilith and all the ones in between?
All the divine masculine, all the divine feminine, all the divine.
Yeah. And then in the end, let's just bring them together in unification. And let it be whatever it's gonna
And let that process be complete. Just if it's finished or not, we'll never know. But just let this portion of it be complete here. See, now there goes Sarah. She's going somewhere. Hang on. We've done something.
Well, I'm willing to connect here. The part of me that's Adam to the part of her that's Lilith, and all the incarnations in between. Let there be unification, forgiveness, and healing. Let there be divine love to flow through each and every soul fractal connected with these beings. Let their love be healed. Even with free will, all the trauma of all the past lives to current will be sealed with divine love, forgiveness, cerulean blue energies, golden white energies, rainbow energies, and ultraviolet energies to heal all the fractals, the souls, the traumas, the hurts, and replace them with love and healing in all dimensions, in all existences, forms, time frames. It is done. It is done. It is done. And we seal this healing in love and light. We seal this healing in love and light. We seal this healing in love and light. And so it is. and divine love. Amen. Namaste.
Yep, some good deep breaths. And let all that energy pass. And if you can, don't hold on to any of it and just let it smoothly go. If you want, you can shake your hands and wiggle your toes and get back into your body. But this time, you're a new incarnation, right? Because this is the incarnation that worked through all that energy. So the being you were a minute ago wasn't here. Now you're here. And we all got to take that ride together. So that was pretty epic. But I have a suggestion. Why don't we go ahead and do a blessing and go ahead and close the recording, and then we can finish up with whatever else this turns into. Would that be all right with you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, gosh, it's such a good energy. Who would like to do a blessing? Holly, you up for a blessing? I know you just did a hand.
Certainly.
You got a language or something?
Sure.
Thank you, Holly.
You're welcome so much. Hatya shasikia namanana ikia shasana ikenana yamashasa kecharani yanasa shikaniyama salayana atiketirisini ke chasinia sunanama atina shasikia ashana asianama ake alon shasi na shanama akachasania antusian shasana ikena sariya shasi Arusha Anyana Asiya Kachansa Ayanama. And so it is in divine love and light. Blessings to all.
Thank you, Holly. That was nice.
Thank you.
Sarah, you got anything that wants to be spoken? Heck of a time for her audio to go out.
Saratayana Yeroto Hisho Ayata. Kayeni Tina Kayatuko Osha. Nairatayarati Sukurata Nairotokoya. Ratayarani Karatakaya Suko Aitini. Eseya Tukoyeta Naya. Haisukoya Tayana Kotaya. Hasai Tokorai Siru Tukuratini. Ayatukoini Kayarataitikia. Ishioto. Ishiatiani Ayukotu Ishula. Asayata Inukaitita. Diana. Kaina ke ese of the core. Aranayiri to kura shi. Kain kura tayati siki. Kayokoti sanayaka. Namaste.
Namaste. Sarah, are you back enough to tell them where to find you on the internet?
Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me?
I didn't quite make that out.
Can you say that?
Say it for you? Yeah. Where you can be found. Conversations with Sarah on Facebook. We also have a WhatsApp group, but if you'll connect on the Facebook, all these events are listed there on Conversations with Sarah. And is that the only place you have it posted? I think that's for now. This video will be posted on Sarah's YouTube. So the information will be put in the details there. And so you're welcome to connect onto the Facebook. So this is the invitation for that. And many blessings to you all. And we will see you all next week. Okay, bye for now, everybody.